For thousands of years, humans looked up and saw birds. And for just as long, we asked the same impossible question. What if we could do that too? It started as myth. Icarus flying too close to the sun. Da Vinci's notebooks filled with flapping wings, wooden screws, and sketches of machines that defied gravity. But dreams don't fly. Physics does. And physics said no. Wings needed lift. Bodies needed thrust. And gravity? Gravity never negotiates. Then came the tinkerers. In the 1800s, George Cayley identified the four forces of flight: lift, weight, thrust, drew glider. He didn't fly himself, but he gave the sky a blueprint. Otto Lilienthal took the next leap. He didn't just design. He tested over 2,000 glides off hills in Germany. He measured every curve, every stall, every crash. He proved the sky could be ridden, but not yet conquered. And in 1896, he paid for that knowledge with his life. His final words? Opfer müssen gebracht werden. Sacrifices must be made. Here's what most history books skip. Lilienthal's data didn't die with him. It traveled. To two bicycle mechanics in Dayton, Ohio. They didn't have money. They didn't have fame. But they had something rarer, relentless curiosity. December 17, 1903. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Wind biting. Sun shifting. A flimsy wooden frame with a 12-horsepower engine sputtering to life. Orville Wright climbs in. 12 seconds. 120 feet. It wasn't graceful, it wasn't fast. But it was enough. Because in those 12 seconds, the impossible became repeatable. Within a year, they flew for 5 minutes. Within 5, Europe was watching. Within a decade, the skies belonged to no one. And everyone. But flight wasn't just about going up anymore. It was about going somewhere. World War I turned flight into a weapon. But weapons accelerate innovation. Planes went from canvas and wire curiosities to steel-framed machines crossing continents. Dogfights demanded speed. Reconnaissance demanded range. Bombing demanded payload. Every battlefield lesson became an engineering breakthrough. But when the guns fell silent, aviation didn't stop. It transformed. Barnstormers looped over county fairs, thrilling crowds with loops and rolls. Male pilots navigated by train tracks and campfires, flying through storms with no radio, no radar, just instinct and courage. Charles Lindbergh didn't just cross the Atlantic in 1927. He proved that distance was no longer a barrier. The world was shrinking. Here's the pivot most people miss. Commercial aviation wasn't born from luxury. It was born from necessity. The U.S. Postal Service funded early routes. Governments subsidized airlines to build infrastructure. Flying wasn't for the rich. It was for the connected. Then came the DC-3, 1935. The first airliner that could make money carrying passengers alone. No mail subsidy. No government handout. Just reliable, profitable flight. It could cross a continent in a day. It could land on grass strips. It could keep flying with one engine out. Over 16,000 were built. Many still fly today. The DC-3 didn't just carry people. It carried the idea that aviation could be every day. But the sky was about to get crowded, and noisy, and fast. The propeller had limits. Thin air at altitude starved it. The solution? Suck in air. Compress it. Ignite it. Shoot it out the back. The turbojet was born. And with it, a new era. 1958. The Boeing 707 takes to the skies. Sleek. Pressurized. Carrying over 100 passengers at nearly 600 miles per hour. The Douglas DC-8 follows. Suddenly, London to New York isn't a ship voyage. It's a workday. Airlines stop being luxury services and become arteries of global commerce. The world shrinks. Cultures collide. Supply chains stretch across oceans. And the phrase jet set enters the dictionary. Then came the Concorde. A silver needle piercing the stratosphere at Mach 2.2. London to New York in 3 hours. It was engineering as art, a rolling billboard for human ambition. It never turned a profit. But it proved we could bend time with speed. And for those who flew it, the horizon wasn't a limit. It was an invitation. But the real revolution wasn't in supersonic dash. It was in reliability. Fly-by-wire systems replaced cables. Glass cockpits replaced dials. Redundancy became doctrine. 3 engines, 2 hydraulics, multiple computers. A modern airliner doesn't just fly. It survives. And because of that, flying became the safest mode of transport in human history. Safer than driving. Safer than walking across the street. Yet as the skies filled, so did the pressure, congestion, noise, carbon. The very machines that connected us began to strain the planet they circled. The jet age delivered the world to our doorstep. Now the question shifted. How do we keep flying without breaking the sky? The future of flight isn't one machine, it's a mosaic. First, sustainable aviation fuel, made from waste oils, agricultural residue, even captured carbon. It drops into existing engines today, cutting life cycle emissions by up to 80%. Airlines are scaling it. Refineries are adapting. It's not a silver bullet, but it's the bridge we need. Second, electrification. Battery energy density is still the bottleneck. But for short hops, 9-seat electric planes are already certified. Hydrogen fuel cells are in ground trials. Hybrid electric regional aircraft? They'll hit commercial routes before the decade ends. Quiet, zero emission, revolutionary, and then there's the sky below your feet. eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Air taxis. They're not sci-fi, they're in certification pipelines, urban corridors, hospital hubs, island routes. The airport might soon be your rooftop. Commuting by air could become as normal as taking a cab. But innovation isn't just about new machines, it's about new intelligence. AI is already optimizing routes in real time, predicting maintenance before failures occur, and assisting pilots in edge cases. Autonomous cargo flights? Tested. Passenger autonomy? Decades away. But the trajectory is clear. Smarter systems, lighter footprints, quieter engines. And yes, supersonic is returning. Not for luxury, for efficiency, new materials, low-boom designs, sustainable fuels. Companies are targeting 2028 to 2030 for commercial service, faster travel, quieter skies. A new era of connection. Aviation has always been about defying limits. But the next limit isn't altitude or speed. It's sustainability, integration, responsibility. The sky gave us connection. Now it's asking for stewardship. We didn't conquer flight. We learned to dance with it. And as long as humans look up and wonder, we'll keep building machines that answer back. If this journey through aviation history moved you, hit subscribe. Drop your favorite aviation milestone or future prediction in the comments. And remember, every takeoff is someone's dream leaving the ground. Keep looking up.